Okay, so in this video I'm going to diagnose the problem with my Traeger grill. It hasn't even smoked up. I was running it for about 20 minutes. I don't know, maybe I need a new hot rod. I looked on Amazon, they're about $12. But I guess you can unscrew these two screws right here. Okay, unscrew those, and there's a little part that you can clip out, and it's the hot rod. And what happens is you have pellets, and these pellets are going to drop in this little tray that you don't see. But here are the pellets. That hot rod, what it does is it heats up and it lights these pellets on fire. Anyway, we're gonna see what we can do with this. No guarantees. I'm gonna try and pull it apart and do some diagnosing. Okay, so what I did was make sure that your grill is unplugged and it's not too hot. You can just remove that grate. And about once a year you're supposed to clean this tray with all the drippings. But what happens is all the meat drippings drip here, and they drip through this little hole. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a hole there, and then those meat drippings will just drop out into this little pan here. So I'm gonna pull this out, and underneath it you're gonna see where the pellets go. Okay, so I pulled this tray out. The best way to get it out is just get your two fingers right here and push. So from out here, you see where my fingers are? Just kind of push it that way, and then just gently lift it out here. So you can see that I've never cleaned this grill. But anyway, here's my firebox, and I'm gonna try and show you what that looks like. Okay, so I got the tray out. Let me just be a little more specific for you. This is the smoke controlled Traeger wood pellet grill, and that's what the knobs look like. I don't know if I can give you a serial number that's still on the unit itself. Looking under there, I don't see it, but there's a bunch of cords there that we're going to be working with soon. Anyway, this is a smaller one. I bought this. It's at least 5 years old. But I mean, if I really wanted to, I could go look at my manual. But this is what it looks like. I'm sure yours is somewhat similar. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull this piece out. I do not believe there are any screws here. It was pretty loose, so yeah, it just slides. It just slides out just like that, okay? So this is called your firebox, and you're gonna want to set that back on because, you know, it makes it so your flame isn't just coming all up in one spot. It kind of spreads. It helps spread the heat out, okay? So don't throw this piece away. All right, now what do I need to do next is I'm looking for, in here there should be a fire rod, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to that, so I might need a shop vac or something to vacuum all this out and to see, because there are some screws here. There are some little nuts. So there's one there, got one there, one here, and then one here. So once I take those off, I should be able to access what I need to access. So you may want to get a shovel to kind of loosen up some things, scrape it off a little bit, and then I think I'm going to go get a vacuum, see how much of this I can vacuum out. Okay, so I did a little cleaning so you can see what's going on, and I didn't get everything out, but you can see there's some old pellets now. Okay, so there's two things we need to think about. So one, is this rod getting hot enough right here? Okay, I'm touching it. It's not hot because I've had it turned off. Make sure you've had yours turned off for a while before you start working on it. So one is, is that hot rod getting hot? And then the next thing is, you can see there's those little blades right there. Those should be pushing pellets in. And so I'm actually going to run a cycle, and I'm going to see what happens with this cycle. Now, you want to use the right kind of pellets, because a couple things could happen. That auger could get jammed, so think about that. I may have used the wrong size of pellets, and maybe that's why mine wasn't getting hot and wasn't smoking. So let's turn this back on. Okay, so I have it plugged in. There are pellets in here. Okay, so let's do the smoke cycle and let's turn it on. Okay, good news. The fan is working, because I can see blowing air. So that's not a problem. You can hear the fan going. That fan is just used to circulate the heat. Now, also good news. I don't know if you can see it, but that little auger in there, it is moving. Okay, it should make a full complete circle. And it's pushing a bunch of gunk out. I might vacuum some of that out because it's just dirt. Okay, so I'm gonna work with that and take the video off, but things will be hot there, so just be careful. Okay, so it's probably been running about, I don't know, 2-3 minutes. And you can see not much has come in. The auger is still slowly moving. Not sure how fast that should move, but I'm kind of curious. I'm like, is my hot rod working? So I got a napkin. I'm getting a napkin. And you see that napkin should light on fire. If that hot rod is working, I mean, I did see a little bit going on. That little cylinder right there. Okay, so yeah, it looks like the hot rod is getting hot. Okay. Maybe not super hot, but it's only been running a few minutes, so I'm gonna let it run for a while and see what happens. Okay, so putting the napkin up against the hot rod. This has been going for about 5 minutes, and it's not getting very hot. You would think that would just light it right up. I mean, it did singe it just a little bit, so it's getting warm, but probably not warm enough to start up a pellet. So if it's not gonna start this napkin on fire, probably not gonna start a pellet on fire either. Okay, so we probably need a new hot rod. Okay, so one thing you can do, if you don't want to burn yourself, if you don't know if your hot rod's hot or not, get a napkin, double it up, triple it up, whatever. Just press it up just enough to hold it. You should start seeing a bunch of smoke if it's heating up, but obviously there's no heat. This hot rod is not getting hot, so I'm gonna have to pull it apart and order a new hot rod. Now, if I do that, well, it could be an issue with an auger. I did see my auger stop every once in a while. I'm not sure if that's on a timer or what. We could do some reading and figure that out, but it's been probably a good 5 minutes, nothing's happening, and my auger has stopped. So I might need to buy a new auger assembly. I don't know. So yeah, because there's not fuel. So there you go. Okay, so the last thing you're going to want to check is, will your auger keep spinning pellets in? So notice I turn it on to medium, you can turn it on to high, and that auger should be putting pellets in. Yeah, it looks like it is. You see it's moving. If that auger stops moving, well, that means you have a problem. I don't think I have a problem with my auger because it's moving, and it's just moving very slow. Okay, so I'm convinced that the hot rod is bad, and of course, if you want to be real thorough, wait like a full 20 25 minutes for that thing to heat up. But there is a screw right here. I don't know if you can see it. There's a screw there, and then there's a bolt. There's a bolt right there. You can loosen those. You can just slide this whole piece out. I'm gonna get these and I'm gonna pull those out. Okay, so let's see if we can get a fire or a flame to start. I thought I felt something kind of hot, so we'll see. Give it some time. Maybe I didn't give it enough time. So I did some quick reading, and supposedly these igniters are supposed to ignite in 3 to 5 minutes. You're supposed to be able to ignite something 3 to 5 minutes. And so I think we're just going to replace this one. Yeah, maybe it's heating up a little bit, but it just isn't doing the job. If it's not going to heat up a napkin, it's not going to get smoke going, it's not going to do it for pellets. Okay, so what I did was I unscrewed these 2 screws, and the problem is it's clipped in there. I'm gonna have to cut some of those zip ties, but just kind of store this away, store this piece away, just kind of tuck it back there for now. Okay, now we're gonna get these screws off. May have to take all 4 of those, and then we got 4 more back there, so let's do that. Okay, so it is important to take all of the screws off that you see. Okay, this is where the switch used to go. That's where the switch came, so you got to take that off because the switch will stay there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side. There's 4 screws on the other side, and that'll make it a lot easier to pull off. I tried to do it with just 2 and it wouldn't work. Okay, so here we are. We're at this step. This piece is just going to lay under there, and that's 1 screw hole on the left of my thumb, 1 on the right, and then 1 right there on the base, and then there's another one. So that's your 3rd screw hole. That's your 4th one. So that's how it's going to fit back together. Okay, so now we need to go find where that hot rod plugs in, and it's going to be one of these wires. You can hear it moving around. Okay, and maybe it's both of those. I'm going to try and get those out. Okay, so we're going to follow these 2 wires. Follow these 2 white wires underneath, and you see them shaking there. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to have to clip some of these to get to it. Okay, once you get your wires clipped, they kind of move around, but we're going after these 2. And then it's this purple one right here, and be careful, things will fall around. We're just going to unclip that, and that's the only one we're going to do. Okay, so once you go underneath and unplug this piece, again, don't forget, it will plug back into the purple wire, one with the purple. Okay, so that's where it's going to plug back in. But anyway, then you can just slide this piece out. Once you take those quarter inch screws, all 4 of those, and then there's another screw right there we're going to take out, and then we're done. We have that hot plate, and then you just install it back in reverse order, and hopefully your grill heats up.